How dancers move, groupings in dance, and ballet versus modern dance. Today we are going to learn about how dancers move. By the end of this lecture, you should feel more comfortable in correctly labeling and categorizing groups of dancers, as well as be able to identify the movement styles of ballet and modern through the ballets Swan Lake and Revelations. First, let's look at how to categorize and label groups of dancers. Dancers can be grouped in an infinite manner of ways, but there are some traditional groupings that we are going to explore. Soloists, duets or pas de deux, trios or pas de trois, and ensemble. A solo dance is danced by an individual dancing alone, as opposed to couples dancing together. Solo dancers are usually the best in the group or the best in an ensemble or dance company. They can also be called a soloist. A duet is an activity performed by a pair of closely connected individuals. In dance, it is a piece specially choreographed for a couple where performers have equal attention. In professional dance, this is often called a pas de deux. This is a French term meaning dance for two. It is most often performed by a male and female dancer, where they take on very traditional roles. A trio is a dance specially choreographed for three performers. It is up to the choreographer about the structure of the dance. One person can be a featured dancer, or all three dancers can be highlighted. In professional dance, a trio is often called a pas de trois, which in French means a dance for three. Any combination of dancers can be used together in a trio or a pas de trois. An ensemble is a group of dancers who perform together. It refers to any group of people that is greater than four. The word ensemble comes from the Middle French word ensemble, which means together at the same time. In ensembles, you'll see dancers all moving together, and they'll make specific patterns throughout the stage. You can mix any genders together, and often in an ensemble, you'll find featured dancers. Featured dancers are highlighted dancers, and they can be done in categorizations of a soloist, a duet, or a trio. So in an ensemble, you can see everybody dancing together. Then you may see one, two, or three people be featured where they do things by themselves or more difficult. So once again, we have solo dancers where there is only one dancer. A duet or pas de deux where there is a dance for two. A trio or pas de trois has only three dancers, but they all dance together. And an ensemble. Any group of dancers working together is all called an ensemble. This term refers to any group of dancers with four or more performers. In these groups, you can have featured dancers. Next, we are going to look at some examples of soloists, pas de deux, and pas de trois. We're also going to look at ensemble. We are going to compare and contrast these types of groupings through examples of two dance genres, ballet and modern. Our ballet examples will come from one of the most famous ballets of all time, Swan Lake. Our other modern example will come from Revelations. We already watched one section from Revelations last week called Wade in the Water. While we'll closely study both of these famous dance pieces at a later time during this course, for now we're going to learn a little background about each of them. This should make watching these pieces a little more enjoyable. Swan Lake. Swan Lake is a ballet from the 19th century. It was first performed in 1876 in St. Petersburg, Russia. It is considered a story ballet, and the plot comes from a Russian fairy tale. Swan Lake tells the story of Odette, a princess kidnapped from her palace as a young girl. She was kidnapped by von Rothbart. Rothbart is an evil sorcerer who lives in a secret forest by the lake. It is at this secret lake he keeps a flock of kidnapped beautiful women. He has cast a spell on them where they live as swans during the day and return to women only at night. A young prince, Prince Siegfried, finds this secret forest by the lake and falls in love with Odette. Knowing that true love can only break his curse, the evil sorcerer tries to keep Odette and the young prince apart by proving he does not love only Odette. The evil sorcerer's plan works, and the prince is tricked into pledging his love for another woman, a woman other than Odette. But in the end, the prince and Odette decide to forfeit their lives. This shows how strong their bond is and that true love is eternal. In doing so, the evil sorcerer is defeated in death and all his kidnappers are free. True love breaks his spell of evil forever. Now about Revelations. The modern dance piece we'll be viewing is from the ballet Revelations. Choreographed by Alvin Ailey and first performed in New York City in 1960, Revelations explores the places of deepest grief and holiest joy in the soul. While Revelations is considered a ballet, it doesn't have an exact storyline or plot like Swan Lake. Instead, Revelations is divided into 3 sections. Each section includes several dances representing different aspects or experiences in Baptist worship. The first section is called Pilgrim of Sorrow, in which the dancers portray people who hope for salvation in spite of life's difficulties. Section 2 is Take Me to the Water, which depicts Alvin Ailey's own baptism. A baptism is a ritual in which one becomes a full member of his congregation. For Alvin Ailey's own baptism, it took place at a pond behind his church, and this is supposed to be the setting of this section. We watched part of this section last week, and our section was called Wade in the Water. The third and final section of Revelations is called Move, Members, Move, which begins in a church congregation any Saturday, anywhere. They are all gathered to worship. When we watch this for our ensemble portion, you'll want to watch for movements that suggest gossiping and conversations, discomfort on a hot day, and the hope of salvation for the week to come. Alvin Ailey described the memories that inspired Revelations as blood memories. Because they were so strong, he felt they were part of him as much as the blood that ran through his veins. Since its premiere in 1960, Revelations has been performed continuously around the globe, transcending barriers of faith and nationality, and appealing to universal emotions, making it the most widely seen modern dance work in the world. We are going to view different parts of each of these famous ballets, Swan Lake and Revelations, to see examples of groupings in dance as well as being able to identify ballet movements from modern dance movements. The first we are going to see is a solo from Swan Lake. When looking at each of these, see which one you like better. Even if you don't like either of them, there will be one you will enjoy more than the other. Here is the solo from Prince Siegfried in Swan Lake.